right, now it is time to bring our pros in. Andy Montgomery from the Kinsale Golf and Fitness Club, and the one and only, backed by popular demand, the one and only Brad Zeitner from the In-Town Golf Club. And Andy, we'll start with you. And, you know, Scotty Scheffler, we'll break these guys down, but I just want, as a pro, these guys would rather play in rain than wind. The wind was causing havoc in today's third round, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, the wind is the one variable that makes the golf ball impossible to control. It can be into you, downwind, left to right, and you just can't control the wind, so you can't control the golf ball like these guys do. They are robots with the golf ball, and the wind causes all kinds of havoc.
Was that the biggest issue, you think, the wind?
With the rough, yes, absolutely.
All right, I want to get it over to you here. Were you shocked to see how tough the course played today? Obviously, they weren't the conditions we had yesterday, but you hear about the wind there. And to see these guys go out there and struggle that much.
Well, obviously, Adam, when you look at the spring that we've had and when we get the warmer temperatures, which are finally going to arrive, hopefully, and you've got the moisture in the ground, I always say that rough is going to grow right in front of our eyes. So when the rough is thick and you have wind, that's about the only thing that can slow these players down. We've said that for many years, that you almost can't make it too long and you almost can't make it too narrow for them.
Do you think it's, the tough but fair? Do you think they met that line out there perfectly?
Well, I think so. When you see rounds like, Griffin had 6 bogeys and 6 birdies, and Jordan Spieth with 5 birdies and 5 bogeys, that kind of explains it all, because those rounds turn into even par, when in other weeks they might be able to salvage that and get those in at 3 or 4 under.
All right, Andy, let's talk about the leader, Scotty Scheffler, defending champ. I picked him to win it a year ago. I picked him to repeat this year. What? Yeah, why? Well, I mean, you know what? You got to pick a winner. Why would I pick who's going to lose?
Thank you very much, Andy. We appreciate you.
We're supposed to pick who wins, not who's losing, right? Anyways, talk about his game. What was he doing best? And he stayed patient. 13 straight pars, and then boom, got it going.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. Staying patient and thinking is what he does better than anyone on tour. Obviously, these guys can hit, golf shot after golf shot. They all do. Scotty just stays in his game. He doesn't get outside of it. When a hard shot is presented, he doesn't take the risk. He knows just to stay patient, and his opportunities will come. And guess what? Right at the end of that round, birdie, 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 birdie. All of a sudden, he's in the lead.
Yeah, birdies 14, 15, 17, and 18. I know Jack prides himself on the toughest finishing holes there are in golf. To see that guy go out and take care of business, I mean, that was a statement, wasn't it?
It was a statement, but I will say 17-pin location and 18-pin location. By Jack's, comments today, too, on the broadcast, they were pretty easy. Tomorrow, those pin locations on 17 and 18 will not be as easy. Hard hole locations.
All right, BZ, I feel crazy saying this, and I think we might have mentioned it last year, but it feels much more real now. The Tiger factor seems to be really taking over with Scotty. When you feel the vibe out there, when you just think about every single tournament he's up there, do you think that's too preemptive to say, or are we finally at the point where this guy really is not, he's at a different level in golf?
Well, he's certainly trending that way. He's on path for that. Now, he's got to do it for another 10 or 12 years probably. But I think a little bit of the intimidation factor, I think a lot of the fact that he is number one in the world and they know it, make it very difficult. But I think the biggest thing that make it difficult on the rest of the field is the fact that he doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't try to do anything that can cost him, and he just kind of, like he did today, he just stayed level and kept working at it, and sure enough, then he made a few birdies, and there he was.
You look at a guy like Ben Griffin. Obviously, he won last week, but now he's going with the world number one. The crowd is different, the environment's different, and you're going on one of the toughest courses on tour. How do you not let the Scotty factor play into tomorrow?
Well, I think it'll be something he'll have to really work against. You could see today when things went off the rails a little bit and he started to make bogey after bogey, I felt his pace picked up, everything about his setup, everything about his walking in the fairways, and he was rushing. He even looked rushed on the very last hole on the green.
Let me ask you about Ben Griffin from the standpoint, I watched him. He seemed to be, going about his business, high-fiving, giving guys the rock, and then, got it to 10 under and feeling pretty good about things. And then, boy, the wheels came off. I was impressed, though, how he got it back. But how tough is that going to be for him going up as Adam just asked. I mean, this is the world's number one he's going to be paired with.
Well, I hope he takes the attitude of he has nothing to lose tomorrow. Everyone in the country, the world, thinks that Scotty Scheffler is going to win tomorrow. So if he just goes out, plays his game, forgets about Scotty, forgets about the golf course, plays his shots, and adds them up in the end, that's the best recipe for him to beat Scotty. He can't go toe-to-toe and think it's a match play event because most of the time Scotty's going to win that. So he was smiling. He had a pretty good attitude. It looked like he was having fun out there today. He needs to do that tomorrow and not worry about playing Scotty.
How about Jordan Spieth? Here's a guy that I want to say hasn't won since 2022. He's overdue. He got it going, but then kind of went backwards a little bit. But he is in striking distance.
He is, and he's one of those players that if that putter gets hot, he can shoot a 65. And I think where he is in position to the leaders, a couple groups in front of him, he can put some pressure on him because if he gets out early, makes a couple birdies, and all of a sudden it's 2-3 back, and he can just say, hey, there's birdies out here. Those leaders will kind of, I don't say freak out, but maybe lose some patience, and that can cause a mistake. So him getting out early can maybe cause a ripple.
Well, we did get the full Jordan Spieth experience today yet again. Is there anyone else that you see kind of on that leaderboard you circle? Nick Taylor, up and down, holes out on 14. Is there anybody that jumps out to you that they should look out for?
Well, Nick Taylor hung in there great today. He's very quietly a 5-time winner on the PGA Tour. That would not many people would know and remember that, but he's an excellent player, so I wouldn't count him out. Now you've got others. You've got like Sepp Straka, you've got Ricky Fowler, you've got the guys that had good solid rounds today. It's just that I don't think the golf course will yield a low enough score for them to catch Mr. Number One in the world. I don't see him allowing them, the opening to come back, and then it's going to be extremely difficult on them to shoot something low enough to catch him.
He is 8-0 in his last 8 attempts after leading after 54 holes. What do these guys have to do tomorrow to go take advantage of Jack's course, knowing this is the toughest it's going to play? And aside from Sepp Straka, there was nobody that had a good round out there.
That's right. You look at the limited number of really good rounds there were today, very few. And so for somebody to be able to make enough birdies without having the bogeys, offset some of those, that's going to be extremely difficult. The pin locations will be tougher. When we talk about Jordan Spieth, he looked wonderful today. I thought there was a lot of the time he looked very athletic. He didn't look like he was so much of a robotic type player. He was athletic. He let it go, but I still worry about his consistency of driving the golf ball. And if you're driving it in this rough, you're not going to catch Scotty Scheffler.
8 under leads this tournament, Andy, as we put a wrap on this. What's the winning score tomorrow?
I think 10 under. I think Scotty goes out, shoots 2 under, wins by 3.
All right, for all of us, I'm going to start with you. Who wins?
Scotty Scheffler.
Adam, who wins?
That's tough. I do think there are some guys that can catch them.
Who wins?
Scotty Scheffler. That's no fun.
Who wins, BZ?
I think Scotty Scheffler wins as well. However, Ben Griffin coming on, he's won twice in the last 28 days. I wouldn't be shocked if he would win another one in a 35-day period.
Well,
I wouldn't be shocked, I'll just say, if Ricky Fowler makes a move as well.
Well, let me just say this. One of us picked Scotty Scheffler to win from the beginning.
What did you say about that ledge?
Long shot, Dom. Good job.
There you go. Anyways, guys, thanks so much. We will be here tomorrow for the final breakdown, probably talking about Scotty Scheffler, the winner.